Welcome back to our Sequester podcast. We are going over season 4, episode 6, Date Night. You can now listen to us on like 15 different podcast platforms: Google, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, many others. How's it going?
Going good.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about after this episode. It was a long episode. We'll go ahead and the whole episode was mostly the date nights. I guess we just have to talk about the date nights, really.
Well, yeah, let's start with who went up and who went down, because you never asked.
Oh, yeah, I forget. Who went up and who went down?
Okay, so I had to make some last-minute revisions after tonight's episode. It seems like the person that I always put down always goes home. So, surprise, surprise, the person that I have going up this week is Muna. You did it, girl. You did it, sis. I have Muna going up. We can get more into the finer details of it as we get to that part of the episode. But I see her in an upward trend for the rest of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to put Billy up. She's just quickly becoming one of my favorite players I've seen in a game in a long while. So
I almost had Billy and Josh. Yeah.
So who went down?
Well, surprise, surprise, not Spencer. I've got Natalie going down. The reason being, I feel like Muna's gonna go back in and she's gonna fuck some shit up, and it's gonna be Jacob, but Natalie and maybe Marcelo is gonna be collateral damage.
I think it's possible. I'm going to put Jacob down as well. As good as the game as he's playing, he did the most in this episode and fucked himself. I saw some of the writing on the wall in the last episode that he was plotting against Muna and that it could be his downfall, and it could be the start of his downfall.
You know what, though? You know what I just remembered? Is he already played his big move, didn't he? Because he already used his advantage. Shit. So never mind. I said Natalie because I thought that Natalie was going to be collateral damage because of Jacob playing his idol, but since he's already played it, or his battle pass, yeah, it's gonna be Jacob, 100%.
Well, we'll go ahead and start date night. Josh and Brendan started the night. They thought it was going to be an easy vote for Spencer. Josh even had tunnel vision at times about Spencer this episode. Do you think they should have kept that being the easy vote? We talked about it last week that it shouldn't be, but
No, and I'm so glad that people, just as a whole, I was so happy that mostly everyone in the game is starting to realize what their best move is. Like, people are really starting to figure out what their Final Four looks like. And even if I don't agree, I can respect that people are starting to think that way. But no, Spencer's not the move anymore. And I commend Muna 100%. I will lay off of her from now on until she does some more fuck shit. I'm gonna lay off of her because she's doing exactly what I want her to do, and Spencer's not the move. He's the best person to take to the end.
Now, she did something at the end that worried me, but we'll get to that later if I remember. But yeah, I do agree that Muna and Spencer coming together was definitely the move for them. I kind of talked about this on our podcast about you and Meg, that maybe that was the move for you guys to make. Instead of clashing, they actually, got it together, and that, hey, we probably shouldn't go up against together because, it's just fucking ourselves.
You know what the variable was that she and Spencer had that me and Meg didn't have was time.
Yeah. Well, not really. They had 3 minutes. But also...
No, I just mean like the timing of the game. Like Final 8, like this now is the time.
It's also that they both don't have any numbers.
That's also true. Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that was just necessity for them.
Was it, though?
I feel like it was, yeah.
I feel like if anybody's actually in a good position in terms of numbers, it's actually Spencer. Yeah, I think Spencer is actually kind of a free agent right now. He is really in a position now to start to reduce his, I don't know, like target, yes. And so I feel like he can do that and be a free agent and kind of be like, well, where should I put my vote? And a lot of people need that extra swing vote. So I think Spencer is kind of in the best position. Not good enough to put him up, but I don't think that he's lacking the numbers. And I also think that people are, except for Josh and Brendan, I think people are realizing that he's not the main target anymore. So.
And I do want to say one more time that Spencer keeps saying that he didn't get a chance to play, but it was his own doing. This whole time, his social game has been shit. But I'm glad that he is finally playing the game.
Yeah. I feel a little differently. I do feel like Spencer has been forced. His hand has been forced many a times.
100% disagree.
It has, though. It really has. His hand has been forced. Now, the fact that he goes and puts his foot in his mouth and says fuck shit, I can't, make excuses for that. But I do feel like he's constantly been in a position
from the beginning, he was just defensive and pissing people off. It's his own fault. It's his own doing.
I disagree.
Well, you're wrong on this
one. I disagree. Also, something about, sorry, I kind of got away from the original question that you asked. Something about Brendan and Josh's conversation, it made me laugh out loud that Brendan thinks that he's a shield for anyone in the game. He was like, Spencer, this big jabroni, he needs shields like me and Josh. And I'm like, you're a shield, Brendan? I didn't get the memo.
I don't even know if Josh is a shield anymore.
No, I love Josh, but he's not a shield. No.
One thing I did like a lot is what helped me put Billy up in this episode was just that Marcelo is fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I did think it was interesting, though, that she called him a snake, and I immediately thought of you and how you said he doesn't deserve the snake edit. But he's been doing... I don't... Actually, you know what? You always say that Jacob deserves a snake edit, but I think Marcelo is a snake. I think Jacob is just fucking a vampire. He's just soulless. He just has no conscience, okay? But I think Marcelo is actually a snake. And I'm really glad that, Billy, she tuned her crystals, got him right, and she sensed the fuck shit before they even sat down and spoke. So...
And we're going to just have to disagree again. I don't think Marcelo is a snake. He's a full of shit, scared player. He just, I don't know. Yeah. We'll get to more on Marcelo later. He really annoyed me in this episode. Next, we had, Jacob and Natalie's plot. It was really Jacob's plot to get out Muna. Natalie thinks she's now calling the shots, apparently, but she's really just a pawn for Jacob.
You know what? On one hand, do I even want to invest the energy in even speaking about Natalie? I so badly want Natalie to prove me wrong, and time again, she just proves her levels of incompetency at this game. Okay, she made a bullshit final 3 with with Brendan, all these white boys, Brendan and fucking Josh. She made a bullshit final 3 that made no sense. And then she immediately turns back on it, even though it could have been something that was remotely logical to go for Jacob, because she somehow thinks that taking Jacob to the end is her best shot. Is that the logic there? If anyone's worth turning on, it's Jacob.
I don't thought that she have any logic.
I'm not going to sit here and drag this girl anymore, but no. And the fact that she Brendan saw right through her fuck shit, and then in the confessional, he literally made her look so stupid when she's like, Brendan, you think you're so smart and blah blah blah, and you're just lucky that I haven't set my sights on you this round. And it's like, girl, bye. Natalie, go on, sit down somewhere, go on, take your ass back to Minnesota and relax. It's not that deep, sis.
Now, Muna came back into this game feeling way too trusting. She's just yapping away, telling Jacob about her LOS, telling Billy. This is such a pet peeve in these games, even when I host games. There's just some advantages you don't tell anybody about ever.
I agree.
I mean, I maybe not ever, but still, not in this situation. I think it was way too soon to tell somebody about her LOS.
And she gained nothing out of it. You know, it was interesting though. She mentioned that Jacob. She mentioned that she was upset with Jacob because she felt like Jacob used their relationship to get what he wanted out of the game. What do you think about that?
Oh, 100%, did he not?
I think that she used their relationship to justify trusting him. I think that she should be more upset with herself. Like Jacob didn't. I don't feel like Jake. I don't understand how anyone can believe anything that comes out of
Well,
Jacob's mouth.
apparently
First of
so
all,
many have so far.
to me, he's a terrible liar. Like his eyes are shifting. There's just no genuineness in anything that he says. But I felt like she used their outside relationship to justify her reason for trusting him. Like, oh, he wouldn't hurt me. Like, we're friends. So I actually think that she was kind of projecting her own.
But I mean, I feel like she really felt like he could have been her number one.
And what has Jacob done to like prove his loyalty to her, or prove anything to her? I don't get it. Like to me, the writing was on the wall that Jacob was never loyal to her. I mean, they had that falling out. That it should have ended right there.
It feels like it should have been, yeah.
At least on a game level, be like, you know what, I'm good. I don't really want to play this game with you, but I'll catch you back. You know, once the game's over, I'll catch you back at home. So
Anyway, it was just a dumb mistake to tell two people about.
Well, was it dumb to tell Billy about it? I don't know that I disagree with that.
I mean, I guess not, but I'm just still I don't tell anybody. If I have an idol, I don't tell anybody.
I think it was a good idea to tell Billy just to like really solidify their relationship. I think Billy's gonna have to make some decisions on who's gonna be her real final two. But yeah, the Jacob thing I didn't understand at all. I think she just was get so happy to be back with him and she just started fucking spilling like a tea kettle and bit her in the ass.
Well, Billy continues to kill it socially. She has Spencer feeling that. Well, I guess Spencer just has to latch onto somebody, but she has Spencer feeling like he can trust her again. Do you think Spencer actually trusts her?
Yeah, I think Billy is just such a master manipulator. Like the fact that she voted for Spencer in the round before and he hugged her and was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad like we're having this date." I mean, clearly he trusts her. Absolutely.
She does have a great arc.
It's a part of her charm, isn't it? Isn't that why you put her up? Like she is just amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Honestly, no disrespect, Aspen. She's nothing on Aspen at this point. Like it is just an advanced level of gameplay. Like that is how good she is.
A big mistake in Jacob's game at this time was his what he was telling people. Like, I'm hearing me and Muna, so if it's gonna be me, I'm gonna vote for Muna. But I feel like most of the people in the game should know that nobody heard Jacob's name from anybody except Jacob. Should they not?
Yep. You know what it reminded me of was in my season when Patty was just adamant. I mean, it's a little different, but when he was adamant that Carrie Kay was gunning after him, and I was like, Patty, no one's thinking about you. Like, no one said your name. So, like, I was Billy in that scenario. Like, I genuinely understood her confusion, which, I mean, it was like a whole show, right? Jacob was putting on a whole bit. But, like, I understood her confusion because it's like, bro, like, nobody was fucking saying you. Nobody is thinking about you, Jacob. Like, nobody gives a fuck about you. No. So, I think he really shot himself in the foot, and I really hope people look at this deeper and be like, no, bitch, you didn't think it was you. That's just your whole fucking gameplay, which I will give Jacob. It's actually, I mean, I think he's done it too many times now at this point, but it's actually a really genius move to be like, oh, well, it's me or you. So,
I mean, yeah, that is a good move to make. I don't know. There's people in this game that I guess maybe don't pick up on stuff that they should. I just feel like that's something they should pick up on after everything that happened. That he's saying, oh, if it's not He lied. They need to know he's a liar now. I don't know how they
Yeah.
can't see that.
Yeah, and also the fact that like clearly no one said his name, so like the fact that by the fourth or fifth date nobody was cross-referencing and being like, "Wait, I've never heard your name." Yeah, I agree. Which is why I put him, or why I think we both now have put him down, is because he's fucked his game once he gets back in. He's done.
Yeah. So what has started to annoy me about Marcelo is
Oh,
his condescending confessionals. He's so condescending. Like it was kind of cute at first when he was talking shit about Shireen at the beginning of the season. But what did he say? Well, I'm gonna have to read exactly what he said that
so he was gonna
annoyed
bite
me.
someone.
Well, that was just weird. Well, he told somebody that they haven't grown in this game.
Spencer.
Yes, he tells Spencer that he hasn't grown in this game, but Marcelo has been at level 1 since the very beginning. Has he not?
You know what? It's crazy because Marcelo and Natalie really like had a moment in this game, at least in his mind. And I think it's interesting because I would actually say that they're the most comparable in the game in terms of skill and strategy and arrogance and thinking that they're significant. I would agree with that actually. Yeah.
And the other thing, because he was saying that Natalie's actually doing something now. But they really are the same. The only difference is that Marcelo has gotten the fake snake edit because I don't think he's a snake.
Yeah.
So at least I mean that gave him a little recognition at the beginning, whereas Natalie just hasn't really gotten the greatest of edits.
I think Marcelo is a snake. He's like a garden snake. You know those little green ones that like you see them and like they're harmless. You know, maybe it'll scare you because it's
No,
a snake, but
he's a
it's
rubber
harmless.
snake. He's a fake snake.
He's a fake snake. I do agree with that. But I do think he is fake. And I think he wants to be shady. I just think he doesn't have the strategy or the skill level or the competency like Natalie to actually be a
I don't
snake.
even think it's that. I think he does have the competency. I just think he's too afraid to actually make any move of his own.
Yeah, that, and he's also, for some reason, so locked in with Jacob. I don't understand it because at some point he's got to realize Jacob is the worst. I mean, maybe now, but Jacob is the worst possible person he can take to the end because Jacob's going to destroy him.
You would think so.
He has to realize that he's the only person that hasn't, well, and Natalie, that hasn't realized his best options in the game.
I do wonder now, though, after everything that happened, are people going to notice that Marcelo and Jacob are actually the two that are close?
I think Muna is going to notice it, and Billy.
But it really depends on how, Josh and Spencer notice it or not.
Yeah. Also, what was with Marcelo's like random outburst with Brendan at the end? Like, what the fuck was that show? I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
It was very cringe to watch. It made me uncomfortable because it was like Marcelo.
I didn't get it either, exactly.
Yeah, no.
I guess the other question is, do you now believe that Marcelo is Jacob's number one? Or do you think he's just still using that because he thinks it could beat him?
I mean, I guess like Jacob has to take someone to the end, right? So, do I think Jacob will play his? I mean, of course, right? It's already been played. But did I believe that lie? No. No, sir, no, ma'am. Did not believe that shit. I don't know, man. I think Jacob is gonna take whoever. Jacob is gonna take whoever is left at the end of his chaos if he can make it to the end. If it's Josh, he's taking that person. If it's Natalie, he's taking that person. So no, I don't see him having loyalty enough to save Marcelo in order to take him to the end.
Now, I really noticed the last two episodes what was Brendan's weakness. Because he's usually a pretty chill person until he hears his name, and then it's just over for the kid. He just starts panicking. He wants to throw things out like Spencer does. And I do wonder if that is what hurt him tonight in this challenge because he seemed a bit rattled before the challenge again. He was a little too pumped.
Mm. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of how he played it with like trying to throw her off. It was like, dude, relax, you know. But I mean, I really just think his undoing was his fixation on Spencer. Like everybody had abandoned, even Josh woke up at some point and realized I have to abandon the sinking ship that is Spencer. And I just don't get like why Brendan, till the very end, was so hell bent on Spencer. Like Brendan was also kind of one of those people that kind of realized like who was in his best interest. Like he knew maybe aligning with Josh was a semi decent good idea. Aligning with Natalie was a good idea. But then he was so fixated on getting Spencer as opposed to just aligning his votes for Muna or Jacob. I don't really get that either. But I think that just goes to show he's a floater. He doesn't make his own good moves. We talked about this last week.
No, he doesn't. Do you think Jacob used his power against Brendan because he thought Brendan could beat Muna?
No. I think he used his power against Brendan because it was a 2-for-1. Because he already didn't trust Brendan anyway. So he was like, worst case scenario, a person that I hate goes home. So I thought it was a perfect strategic. I mean, he fucked up this episode by doing too much, like you said, anyways. But I do think that because he had to play his battle pass, he picked the best person for like his money. He got more bang for his buck by picking Brendan.
Um, Now, last week you said that you gave Billy some shit for always throwing her vote, but I think she has perfected the thrown vote because it has not really bit her in the ass yet.
And it's to the point now where she can justify throwing her votes, okay? I mean, she really thinks she's loyal. And I'm starting to think she's loyal. Like, damn, maybe she is loyal, you know? Like, maybe she really does throw her votes to protect everyone. And by protecting everyone, she kind of protects no one. But yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy is I actually was hoping Spencer, I literally wrote, Spencer needs to pull a Billy and throw his vote and just throw it in the wind and see where it lands because Bill apparently there's something to that strategy. It seems to work so well for her. So yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of a combination of Aspen and Fanguy in Billy's game because Fanguy likes to be loyal to a lot of people as well. But you got to be, well, I guess in the end you have to pick who you're really loyal to, and I guess it might be Muna and Josh. Probably
That
would have been Jacob too, but Jacob fucked up.
no.
Actually, yeah, you're right because there was a few episodes ago that Billy didn't notice shit about Jacob.
Yeah. Billy actually kind of disappointed me with her people reading skills this episode. They were a little off. Because she should have picked up on Jacob's bullshit.
Yeah, they're on
But
with
then in the
everybody
office
except
now.
Jacob. Jacob just has everybody believing, or had everybody believing him for whatever reason.
I really want to meet this man. I really want to see what charisma he has in person because I don't see it on camera. I just see someone that comes off as having zero conscience. Like you can tell he is just ruthless.
But do you think it's because you get to see his confessional, so you know that he's ruthless?
I mean, yeah, that's always the case though, right? When you like know a person's inner workings. That's true. Yeah, but even like reading his demeanor, like even when I watch how he interacts with these people, I'm still not convinced. Like his eyes are shifty. He's just not like to me, he's not like a very warm person. Like Muna is very warm, Billy's very warm, and Jacob's very just standoffish. And I'm just like, how are people buying this? It has to be because they have previous relationships with him. Because he's not that likable, to be honest. What's interesting about him? He's not funny. You know, I mean, like, what's interesting about Jacob? So,
Well, in the end, it was Muna versus Brendan. Well, Muna originally picked Jacob. Do you want to talk about any of the drama that unfolded between Jacob, Muna, Billy, Brendan?
well, I feel like you want to talk about it, right? Because you kind of predicted it. You saw this all unfolding. We knew this day was going to happen.
Well, they did some foreshadowing in the last episode that made me think Jacob was gonna make a move on Muna that was gonna come back on him because I thought it was gonna be because of Muna's LOS, but really it was just because of Jacob's moves and his own power kind of wasted. I just feel like Jacob in this episode overplayed.
I'm wondering if he could have just sat back for about 2 more rounds. Like, what was the urgency to get her
I mean,
out
it's like I
right now?
respect people making moves because there's already enough people sitting back.
Mm-hmm.
But also, this probably wasn't his move to make.
Oh, okay. So then whose move was it?
I mean, if he's going to make a move on Muna, it could have been in a round or two. But I don't know. I just don't understand why he made a move against Muna, who trusts him, clearly trusts him. She told him about her LOS, so he's just kind of doing it for a flashy move because he thinks he's Denise from Survivor. Throwback to another podcast a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think Muna is shaping up to be the person to beat. She's got the best resume. So I think it's just intimidation is what it boils down to. She's well-spoken, she's likable, she's charismatic, and I think he's intimidated by her. She's the person to beat. Yeah. And it's really sad. It was really sad. I mean, I do think that part of Muna's trust in Jacob was her own fault and her own, like, God damn, she's got terrible judge of character. Just so bad. She was wrong about Marcelo. She's wrong about everyone all the time. Natalie, how do you misjudge Natalie? So bad.
Well, I feel like some of those were just prior relationships blinding her. Jacob was her blind spot in this game.
And see, to me, I don't have a lot of sympathy for that because, like, when you go into this game, you don't have friends, okay? You leave that friendship at the door.
Yeah,
so
you have to, like, it has to be for this game that you're in now. Prior relationships really can't matter. You have to, like, adapt to what is happening in this game. I agree with that.
And I think that that's why Jacob was so ruthless with her is because I think Jacob left everything at the door. I do think he did kind of play it, though, because he's doing it with Marcelo. Where he's like, oh, obviously, clearly we're each other's final two. So Jacob is kind of teetering that line. So maybe I actually do see her argument of he's being manipulative, and it's kind of fucked up. But I think that he's able to compartmentalize his emotions and his game.
Now, you took some notes of your own. What did I miss that you have written?
Okay. I took a lot of notes. Okay. So I said, well, first I was going to put Josh and Billy up, and I have them in like a little heart, like Josh and Billy forever.
Now, that's a good question, though. Do you think that Billy's really Josh's number one to take the final two? Because Josh is feeling this whole Brendan Natalie thing.
Okay, I think Billy is Josh's number one, but the real question is Josh Billy's number one? Because if it gets down to Muna and Josh, she's got a really tough call to make.
I mean, if she's trying to win, she probably should take Josh.
I think Billy beats them both, honestly.
I think she should, yeah. But I guess somebody mentioned that Muna already might have a prior relationship with the jury now since she was in it.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I do think Josh overall would be the easier person to beat, but I don't know. I kind of want to see. I love Billy and Muna's relationship, but I think I want to see an honest conversation where maybe like it's like, look, I want to go with this person, or you should go with Josh. I don't know, because like literally Billy and Josh made their connection like within 10 seconds of being in the house. And to me, and they've just been so solid in it. They don't have to go see each other and hug every time they are here just like spiritual.
It's true. It's been this low-key, subtle alliance that has worked.
And I want to see it to the end, but I also kind of want to see both of them win. And I don't think that Billy is a good choice for Josh to take. I will say that. Josh needs to take Natalie.
I feel like Natalie should be the people everyone wants to take, unfortunately.
And that's why we're going to see her ass for the next however many episodes, because she's just so easy to take. Oh.
Yes, if Days and Aspen were here, they would be calling her a goat, and I do think she is a goat.
I think we need to elevate her beyond the goat. Like, what's the next tier up from a goat? What's the bigger sacrificial animal? Because that is what she is. Anyways, enough about her ass. As far as my notes, I said Spencer and his monologues. He came in and he gave his little spiel. What did we think about that? Was it right on time or was it too little too late?
I mean, it was on time because he has to start actually playing a more social game because he hasn't had one. And I think he's lucky that people can see that, he probably isn't going to go home if we put him in a battle back again. So, let's just keep him around for now because maybe he is someone who could be at the end.
You know,
But do you think he has such a good story that, he could win?
that's what I was gonna. I actually wrote that down. I think it's really interesting that so many people think that he gets to the end, his character arc wins it for him.
Well, that's because in a normal world, when somebody is as big of an underdog as Spencer's been, they're likable. But Spencer hasn't.
Spencer, like you said, has managed to be the unlikable underdog. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Spencer as much as you. I can justify a lot of Spencer's actions only because he's consistently been in the bottom. Like when you're in the bottom.
But see, my problem with him is that he put himself in the bottom, so I just can't feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah, I see both sides. I get both arguments. I understand your hostility towards Spencer, but yeah, I thought it was right on time. I'm glad that he's chilled out. And didn't I say this last episode? I said if Spencer came back and just shut the fuck up, he might actually be able to redeem himself. I literally said that. A lot of stuff that I've been saying has come to pass. So I'm glad that Spencer, if he just maybe even turn on that Nick Jonas charm. Doesn't he have little dimples? Put a little
I don't think he
in
has
it?
charm though, unfortunately.
He's a sales rep. Spencer, show me why you're a sales rep. Okay, clearly there's some swagger there that's not translating on TV. I want to see what Spencer's made of. I want to see his social game kick up. So yeah, that's what I had in my notes. We kind of briefly touched on it, but I had Natalie's final three with Brendan and Josh and just kind of what the fuck is going on in her head. Is that her best final three? Like, who can Natalie beat? Because at this point, I'm not even sure that it's Spencer anymore. Who can Natalie beat?
I mean, if I'm on the jury, nobody, but that's just me.
Not even Marcelo. Rubber Snake Marcelo.
Good quads. That's a good one. Maybe that is the one she needs to take to the
end. You know what? They did have that connection. They had that whole. I thought Marcelo was like flirting with her. He was like, damn, like that.
He was.
She's looking cute. And there's. Oh my God. Random aside. The funniest part of this episode was when Muna was like, Marcelo brought his ass to the fucking vote out in flip-flops, okay? How is he gonna wear flip-flops? Because he know he's not going into a battle back. And I was like, that's actually a really good point.
Yes, that is something good to notice.
Yeah. He sure do be wearing them flip-flops, huh? But what do we think about the final three? Do you have anything to say about their final three? No. Do we care about Natalie?
I mean, I just felt like it benefited Josh the most, maybe.
Yeah. But you know what? Josh is just so, like, he's just sitting so well in this game that losing Brendan, Marcelo now kind of being, on the chopping block. I know he's going to be on Muna's radar. It's not going to make a difference. He's just sitting so well in this game.
I agree. He's in a very good spot.
Oh, you love to see it. Him and Billy, I could just watch all day, those two. I said Billy sensed Marcelo's fuck shit, which we already talked about, but also that Marcelo felt some type of way about Billy, which I found interesting.
Remind me what he said again.
Just that he didn't trust her. He was like, I don't think she gives a fuck about me. And for me, I honestly thought it was a bit of like game recognizes game. Because like, I'm not going to say that Billy and Marcelo are the same. But I am going to say that they both are. Marcelo's trying to play the social game that Billy has. But I do think that they both, like, they instantly kind of scope each other out because they know one another's MOs,
Yeah, true.
Also, something that I found interesting, so like Jacob the whole episode was like, just say it's me. Like, even if you have to throw a vote on me, just do it. Like, clearly, Jacob was kind of trying to throw votes on himself.
Yeah, I think that was to like make his plan work. To that, oh, it was either me or Muna when it clearly wasn't.
But I mean, like, at that point, I'm surprised that it just genuinely didn't shift to him. Like, they instantly pinged Josh last week when he said, don't worry about LOSs. But then Jacob is like clearly trying to like gather the votes to put on himself, and no one thinks anything of it. And they're like, oh my God, Jacob's so nice.
Jacob has that mist. I don't know what it is. He has that mist around people, or had it at least.
I would love to meet Jacob in real life. I want to see, I mean, he's a very handsome guy. Maybe they just get lost in his like beautiful skin. I don't know. Like, there's something about him that enamors people because I don't see it on TV. I don't
Especially
see it.
going back though that he's won too many, so like you should think not to trust him. I would think
Wow.
some of these players this season are just not. They're not awake.
They're not very brave. Yeah. Oh, why did Spencer tell Brendan pretty much everything that he and Muna talked about? And just also the way that Spencer played his dates in general.
I mean, I don't know. I just felt like he. What else could he do? I mean, he was just being honest.
I felt like Spencer had a lot of leverage in this game, or in this round at least, and he realized later on that he should just shut up and say, mm-hmm. But kind of early on, I think he was giving out a little too much information.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and I think that's what, in the end, what I wanted to mention that Muna kind of thinks Spencer voted for her, at least in her confessional.
Yeah, super disheartening. I was really proud of him that he stayed true to her too, because I mean, Jacob has a lot of pull with Spencer, at least we thought. Oh my God. You know what we didn't talk about? Sorry, that was a little dramatic. Why didn't Jacob bring up Muna's LOSs more to sell her? Like, there were some people who I think he really could have won and just really solidified her vote if he'd done it.
I feel like maybe he was thinking that it would have the opposite effect. Like, oh my, if we vote for Mona, she's going to use it, and then somebody else is going to go.
Mm, right. Okay.
But it's great for Muna that she didn't use it, because now she could come back and still have it.
True.
So, like, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Do they go for Muna? Because I feel like Jacob might throw it under the bus now. So I don't know. She's going to have to play that really, really well.
I guess the question is like, did she really, in the soullessness that is Jacob Jones, did she pull at what could potentially be a heartstring and make him feel bad?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't
Maybe
think
he didn't want to completely throw her under the bus.
I don't think Jacob has a conscience in this game.
I don't really think so either, but
No, I think he's gonna sell that LOS to the highest bidder.
oh yeah, that's definitely gonna be what he's gonna do. I just
Yeah.
want to see if people actually realize he's a pretty big liar now.
You know what though? Something good that may have come out of this, and Natalie better thank her lucky. Oh my God, Natalie better thank her lucky stars that Muna did not reveal her vote, because she would be fucked right now. I think that Muna's emotional scene that she put on, I think it will strongly pull Natalie over to her side, because she's
Maybe.
so fucking
We'll see.
no. She's so fucking, I don't want to call her dumb because that's really mean, but she's so dumb in this game, and she's so emotional in
She's
this
definitely
game
emotional.
that she's gonna fully just go over to Moon and be like, oh my gosh, like I just can't believe, like she's gonna hate me. No, she's Team Muna now. She will not betray Muna again. So I think Muna's gonna go in for once with the numbers. She's got Billy, she's got Josh, she's got Spencer, and she's got Natalie.
I mean, we'll see. Do you think, is that your prediction that it's going to be Muna versus Jacob going to this next round?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Muna versus Jacob, and Marcelo's going to try and insert his snake ass where it doesn't belong. And maybe somehow Marcelo will be collateral damage.
I'd be all for that because I don't feel like he's going to do anything.
And Marcelo be the main one trying to say that other people are floating in this game.
He is the biggest floater.
Playing scared, and it's like, Marcelo, if you don't stop fucking projecting.
I might put him below Natalie as far as not playing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Natalie's trying. She is. She's really trying her heart out. She just sucks at this game. And then my last bullet point was just that, wow, Spencer went Marcelo. Spencer is redeeming himself.
Let's not put the cart before the horse. He has a while to go.
Come on, I have like fully revised my position on Muna because Muna has woken up in this game. This is the Muna that I've wanted to see play. So I think it's time for you to be fair.
I gave him credit. I said he finally started playing. I just don't like his excuse that it's because he didn't get a chance to play when it's really because he shot his own foot. I'll give him one more episode. If he's still playing well in this next episode, maybe I'll give him more credit.
Give Nick Jonas a little bit of credit.
I mean, I agree with you on the prediction that it should probably be Muna versus Jacob. It's going to be an interesting dynamic, but it always depends on the twist.
That's very true. How many episodes are left, do you know?
I have no idea. I assume 3 or 4.
There's got to be a double elimination coming up, right?
Why?
Well, how are there only 3 episodes left if there are 7 people?
Well, because at the final, I don't know how the final 4 works exactly, so I don't know. But something
So
happens at the final 4.
The final 4 must be a double elimination.
I think what happens at the final 4, well, this is what happens on the minis, is that somebody wins a challenge, and that winner gets to choose who to take to the final 2.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Billy better throw the final challenge and hope Josh or Muna wins.
Or win it.
Well, I only say she should throw it because her throwing ass, it would be in perfect alignment with who she is in this game. If she throws it, then she's not forced to pick. Let's say if she has Josh and Muna, she's not forced to pick between them. So, good episode, though. It was a little long. I don't know that we needed to see as many chats.
I mean, I can't talk shit about long episodes because I sure edit together some long episodes.
Would you ever do a online survival game with mini dates instead of challenges, just like a mini date? Maybe.
I do like that twist. That is one of my favorite twists on Sequester because you only get to talk to a person once that night. And whatever happens in these other chats happens. A lot could change when you're just talking to one person for 3 minutes.
I'm wondering though if like during each round, like those 3 or 4 chats were all happening concurrently. Because this like challenge realistically was only like half an hour if they had like all 3 chats happening at the same time or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how they should it.
But yeah, 30 minutes is also not a long time, so.
Not at all.
Good episode though. I'm enjoying it. I have people that I'm rooting for. I'm Muna. I'm excited to see what you do in this game. So excited. I hope this woke her ass up. I really am.
I hope so too, but I am definitely rooting for Billy to win this game.
100%. Love Billy. I want to see Billy on Real Survivor.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining us this week on our Sequester podcast. I'll see you all next week.